And I think before we end, if we could just go over the main themes of the play. First of all, the idea of family. The importance of family and of family relationships. We see that there are sisters in the play, and we see that they can get on well together, even though they do quarrel more than once. We also see brothers in the play, and we see resentment and hatred and bitterness. But we also see love and the desire to be loved. We see parents and children. You need to look at Sipho and Thando, Mandisa and Themba. You need to see Sipho's parents, the mother and the father, and Sipho and Themba. Look at all of them. We obviously also see a wife and a husband. There's Sipho and his first wife, Sipho and his second wife, Themba and his wife. So look at all of those, family and family relationships. We have, leading from that, we lead into the idea of tradition. Family is where your home is, not where your house is. And that leads us towards the idea of tradition, being African, being an African princess. This leads us to the idea of roots and heritage, how important your culture is, your ancestors, your roots, your heritage. That your identity, who you are, cannot be separated from your past and your family and your history and your traditions and your customs and your culture. That sometimes we try to fit in with a new culture, a new identity, and how much is new and how much is old. And I think here you would specifically discuss Mandisa and her background. The idea of having pride in your country and loyalty and love, above all in this play for South Africa. That people are passionate about the country, passionate enough, if you are an activist, to die for your country. And we hear about many activists. Then related to that is the idea of exile from everything we've mentioned so far, from family, from tradition, from home, from culture. That in exile, often you feel like a stranger. You can feel alienated. Do you know that word, alienated? You can feel like a stranger in a different culture. So that's why Mandisa changes her name to Makai. That's why they need a halfway house in London for South Africans, because you feel so strange and uncomfortable. I would also mention here that Themba longs to come home. We're told that before he dies, all he talks about is coming home. I think fourthly, you need to look at male-female relationships. You're looking especially at the role of the male, so the